And our top focus today, in the latest escalation of violence between the volatile neighbors, Afghanistan's Taliban authorities said that they have launched attacks against Pakistan's military positions along their border in response to Pakistani airstrikes last week. Pakistan said that its forces have retaliated. Pakistan carried out airstrikes in Kabul and two other Afghan provinces early this Friday, hours after Afghanistan launched a cross-border attack on Pakistan. Tensions are simmering high in the region. At least 3 explosions were heard in Kabul, but there was no immediate information on the exact location of the strikes in the Afghan capital, Kabul, or of any potential casualties. Government spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid had said that Pakistan also carried out airstrikes in Kandahar to south and in the southeastern province of Paktia. Pakistan has claimed that at least 133 Afghan Talibans were killed and over 200 injured under Operation Ghazab Lil Haq. It also claimed that the Pakistan army completely destroyed 27 posts of Afghan Taliban and has captured 5 of them.
Alhamdulillah mujahideen ټول ته د مبارک وي دا د پاکستان پوسټه د لمبې په بهیږي وګورئ تاسو انقلابي راځه.
And it further stated that more than 36 tanks were destroyed, artillery guns and APCs of the Afghan Taliban were destroyed, and the Afghan Taliban fled, abandoning many posts and hideouts. Pakistan Defence Minister Khawaja Asif has declared an open war with Afghanistan after the Taliban administration said that its forces killed and captured several Pakistani soldiers during a cross-border offensive. Afghanistan said that its military launched its attack across the border into Pakistan late Thursday and claimed to have captured more than a dozen Pakistani army posts. Afghanistan's defense ministry said that 55 Pakistani soldiers had been killed, including some whose bodies had taken into Afghanistan, while several others were captured alive. It put its own casualties at 8 killed and another 11 wounded. The ministry said that it had destroyed 19 Pakistani army posts and 2 bases, and that the fighting had ended at midnight, about 4 hours after the start of the attack. Pakistan, on the other hand, dismissed claims that army posts had been captured. Pakistani police said that mortars fired from Afghanistan had landed in nearby villages, but there were no reports of civilian casualties.
Alhamdulillah.
And now both sides also reported exchanges of fire in the Torkham border area as well. Pakistan has described last Sunday's airstrikes as an attack on militants harbored in the area. It claimed that in the Sunday's military strike along the border with Afghanistan, they had killed at least 70 militants. Well, tensions continue to simmer between Pakistan and Afghanistan, as both claim casualties from other side. Afghanistan is making the bold claim of capturing Pakistan army post as well, although Pakistan denies any such claims.
ومن د خپل عوامو انتقام اخیستو تاسو وینئ خدای دې وبخښه خدای دې راوله خدای دې راوله الحمدلله مجاهدینو ټولو ته دې مبارک وي دا د پاکستان پوسټه د لمبې په بهیږي وګورئ تاسو.
Afghanistan's Taliban authorities have said that they have launched military action against Pakistan's military positions as well. It is the attack by Afghanistan was in response to Pakistan's airstrikes last week. Pakistan claims that its forces have retaliated, although Afghanistan is claiming that the war ended in 4 hours after Afghanistan launched offensive, capturing 19 Pakistan army posts. A claim that Pakistan continues to dismiss. The relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan has plunged in recent months with land crossings along the 2,000-kilometer border known as the Durand line between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Largely, it has been shut since the deadly fighting in the October killed more than 70 people on both the sides. Pakistan had claimed that its Sunday's airstrike killed 70 people, 70 fighters in Afghanistan, with Afghanistan again rejecting that claim and saying that civilians had been killed instead of fighters, including women and children. Pakistan's airstrike last week received a lot of backlash due to targeting civilians. Pakistan claims that it had killed 133 Afghan Taliban members and more than 200 have been injured in the fighting. It also claims that it has destroyed Afghan Taliban posts and 9 Taliban posts have been captured by Pakistan, although Afghanistan has rejected the claim and have countered it. I'm being joined by my colleague Varghese Ibrahim for more on these. Varghese, the tensions continue to simmer between Afghanistan and Pakistan, both the sides claiming high casualties on each side.
Both of them are, in fact, claiming high casualties, and also the entire firing is ongoing, as we understand. There are reports saying that there is intense bombing of Afghan territory by the Pakistani Air Force, especially targeting its ammunition depots. And at the same time, the Taliban is carrying out with cross-border attacks on Pak posts. There are claims and counterclaims that is, in fact, going, saying that Pakistan has been able to destroy some of the posts on the Afghan side of the Durand line. And also, there are reports coming in that at least 19 posts have been captured by Afghanistan. And also, interestingly enough, information coming in that in certain areas, the Pak forces had to retreat because of the heavy firing that was coming in from waves of Taliban fighters trying to maneuver onto the Pakistani posts at the Durand line. So clearly it has become a very tense situation at the Durand line, and with the historic perspective with Pashtun ethnicities on both sides of the Durand line, and also Durand line not being recognized by Afghanistan, they have treated it as a British creation, and they have been trying to, in fact, also keep it porous. Now, the Durand line plays a significant aspect of how the policies between both the neighbors have been going bad, especially with Afghan Taliban, and even before the Afghan Taliban, whichever regime had been there in Afghanistan, have not actually accepted the Durand line as a border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. So it is a leftover geopolitical issue that has been there, and the escalation is, in fact, seen as a major lowdown when it comes to the Afghan-Pakistan relationship. Now, interestingly enough, we must note that the relationship was very strong when the Soviet Union had gone ahead and invaded Afghanistan, and there were several of these militant groups which were trained by Pakistan and was given refuge by Pakistan. And now, after the situation where the Taliban has taken over control, especially after the Americans have vacated Afghanistan, it shows that the situation has become quite difficult, with Afghan Taliban, in fact, asking for a renegotiation of that borderline, and that has been outrightly rejected by Pakistan. And also tensions have been simmering in, with several Pashtuns forced to leave from the Pakistan side in the last 2 years, with the state machinery of Pakistan targeting them, asking them to move towards the Durand line. So there has been several issues that have been taking place as of now, but interestingly enough, it had never reached a point of, or rather a flashpoint as we see today. There have been cases in which minor border skirmishes were reported, and one major border skirmish was also reported a few months back. But this time, with the intense bombing of Kabul, that the entire talks that were in fact in place have collapsed, especially to resolve the issue, and now it has become a complete all-out war. And with Khawaja Asif, the Defence Minister, coming out and saying that it is an open war that is taking place with Afghanistan, it only shows that the situation has in fact reached rock bottom, and it's going to be a very difficult situation on the Durand line. Pakistan, meanwhile, would be in fact looking at relocating its troops itself. We must understand that the Durand line also passes through some of the very restive regions of Pakistan, and therefore military presence might be required, and therefore Pakistan will have to take their troops away from the eastern border, that is within India, and move them towards the western border, towards Afghanistan, as the situation worsens.
Right, Varghese, security issues lie at the heart of these recent border tensions that we are witnessing today. Pakistan has continuously claimed that, has accused Afghanistan of harboring armed groups led by the Pakistan Taliban, TTP, a claim that Taliban has denied time and again. This back and forth over the TTP's claim has continued over recent months. We have seen a lot of border clashes happening between Pakistan and Afghanistan, and as you correctly pointed out, that this is the amount of retaliation and the scale of the tensions that we see today. What does it say? What does it convey? Are the tensions going in are they going to escalate even further?
Well, the situation is such that we will have to, in fact, wait and see and how the situation is going to unfold, because they do have a mechanism of talks that, in fact, kicks in whenever such kind of a border situation worsens, and that's the last time when it happened. Also, this mechanism did kick in with regard to it. But then there is also the issue about Pakistani Taliban, which has been finding shelter in Afghanistan, in which Pakistan claims is an effort on the part of Afghan Taliban to push some kind of situation for them to keep the Durand line active. So all these factors will also, in fact, weigh in on the issue.
Joined by KK Sinha, retired Major General and defense expert. Major, the tensions and the kind of retaliation and the tensions that we are witnessing right now at the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, it is actually the most, in the recent times, it's most severe right now. Do you think that the situation is going to escalate even further?
Nalsi, good morning, and Jayan. What the informations are coming that it is a formal attack and declared attack by Afghanistan forces. When we call it Afghan Taliban, they may not be absolutely correct, because these are the actual state forces which have attacked. So it is a declared war, and at the same time, the Pakistan, I believe their foreign minister says that Pakistan is not only going to retaliate, but they have also declared the war. The matter of the fact is that if you see the complete Durand line, that has been activated from right up from the Chaman crossing and the Spin Boldak area. This is a huge area, and you see and it all started by Pakistan. When they carry out an airstrike deep inside, in Patika area, they have done that. They go to Nangarhar, they right up to, Kohat, they have hit. So these areas, this can't be just taken. This is absolutely a declared war. First, by Afghanistan, they have shown on ground that they can hit, and I think casualties is very high. Now, how Pakistan is taking it militarily, yes, they have been saying, and if they don't retaliate, if they will retaliate, there will be repercussions of that, because on ground, Afghanistan is very, very strong, and no one has able to defeat Afghanistan other than Ranjit Singh, who was there in the history. They were only he was able to defeat them and gone there. But Pakistani, I don't think they have got it requires the military acumen, it requires the strength and the courage, which the Pakistani don't have. We have seen in our front a lot of war. They give up. They make a lot of stories. They try to, stand, and then they give up. So, from Afghanistan side, it is a declared. How retaliation, if they will just retaliate with the airstrike. Airstrike is air support. It doesn't actually happen on ground. But these people are very good on terrain and ground, Afghanis. So I think it is from their side, in spite of the fact that, Qatar and Turkey, they are trying to mediate. But on ground, it is not happening. On ground, Pakistani forces, especially Asim Munir, the way he's using his forces on the behest of someone which you all know, because they want to take the Badgam airfield that they have promised to the Americans.
Right.
Badgam, this is beyond their capability to do it, but they have been caught in in a situation which they literally can't do it on ground, but they have promised to someone else, external power. So let's see how it develops further, because the casualty is very high. If they do not retaliate, I think it is an actual defeat, moral defeat of Pakistan.
That's right. And there are some tall claims that have been exchanged between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Afghanistan is claiming to capture 19 Pakistan army posts, and of course that claim has been denied by the Pakistan, and they are in fact claiming that we have in fact captured some post of the Afghanistan Taliban.
Yeah, this is in area of northern Balochistan and the southern side of it, where on ground they are holding it. Before that also, they are sitting eyeball to eyeball. So, and the Pakistan, the forces, they don't retaliate. It has been earlier also coming in visually that, number of Pakistan soldiers were killed. They were told, they were humiliated on ground. Their weapons were taken. So, the matter of the fact that, ground situation is totally, it is in the favor of Afghanistan. Not with the Pakistan, because you have to fight it out, which they are not used to it. Neither they are trained for it. They are mentally defeated force. So how Afghanistan, these people have got, but weaponry, if you see, Pakistan has got super weaponry. There is no air power with Afghanistan. So in my judgment, if something has to happen which has to be substantial on ground, there is an external force which is required to be supporting. In this, the Chinese are with the Pakistan, more or less, because the Godar and the CPAC is with them, and Americans are supporting them. So it is sheer guts on ground, and on the ground itself, the terrain, ground, and what you said, number of posts they have taken, and that's true.
Major, another point that is at the heart of this recent border tensions that we are witnessing right now is that Pakistan has time and again claimed that, has accused Afghanistan of harboring armed groups like TTP. It's kind of hypocritical of Pakistan to point out of accusing somebody else of harboring terror groups. But this claim by Pakistan has been denied by Afghanistan time and again, and they have said that the recent attacks, let's say, even if we talk about the bombing in the mosque, Pakistan has claimed that they have conclusive evidence that that was carried out by the armed groups that were harbored by Taliban, a claim the Taliban has denied time and again.
See, the Tehreek-e-Taliban, Pakistan, is a purely Pakistani people who have taken the arms against the state. The Taliban, even inside Afghanistan, when say Afghan Taliban, but they are both Pakhtuns. These are and they have got a dream, and a very old dream of Pakhtunistan, which is the right up to the river which is flowing through in the Pakistan, and dividing Pakistan in half. They want to bring this as in Pakhtunistan. So saying that, it is, they are harboring, it is the Pakistani, Taliban who are actually controlling this area. There were 7,000 to 8,000 Talibanis, which has come to, especially if you see in the central, if you divide the complete KPK in half, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in this area, they have taken physically on ground. So where is there, they are not able to, Pakistani army is not able to, flush them out from there. So they have more or less as an independent, if the center of that, when I'm talking about is from Quetta to Peshawar, that is the highway, they are controlling it with the checkpoint.
Right. Major General, stay with us. I've been also being joined by Colonel B.N. Thapar, defense expert as well with me. B.N. Thapar, the recent border clashes that we are witnessing right now, what do you think? How are the tensions going to escalate even further, or do you think Pakistan and Afghanistan will be able to solve this issue diplomatically?
No, I think diplomacy is not known to Pakistan. All that they know is creating problems for the neighboring states, whether it is India or it is Afghanistan. They have got some wonky ideas about how to conduct the business of the state. as far as Afghanistan is concerned, Pakistan has forgotten the very basic lesson that all the empire's graveyards are in Afghanistan. And now they are escalating this action into Afghanistan in a very big way, and they are bound to get a rebuff from Afghanistan because the area is such and the population is such that finally it will be the Pakistanis who will lose badly in this kind of warfare. It's a different thing to go and hit targets, unarmed targets with F-16s and things like that. And it's a very different thing to be fighting on rough ground and the kind of geography that obtains in this between the two people. Moreover, I mean, the ISI is playing a very wretched role, and it will be the ultimate cause of all the problems that are created for Pakistan. So I believe that ultimately the loser in this game is going to be Pakistan. I do not know how they are continuing this kind of a thing, particularly now that they have pushed out 5 lakh Afghans. You created another branch of the Tariq-e-Pakistan in Afghanistan. And Afghans, and very difficult to distinguish between the Afghani Taliban and the TPP. Very difficult. I mean, they are cousins of each other, and they will give a united kind of a response to Pakistan in this matter. It is not like terror in India, which can be undertaken in a different manner because of certain obtaining circumstances in India. It is very difficult in Afghanistan to do that kind of a thing. And they are following the same doctrine there. And they will be given a suitable reply by the Afghans. They are, it's very difficult to beat Afghans in this game for Pakistan. The present state of Pakistan is hopeless. They are unnecessarily taking this action against them.
Pakistan's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif has gone out and has declared an open war against Afghanistan. It's very interesting to see that Pakistan, which once backed Taliban, is now fighting and is declaring an open war against it. Do you think that they can afford this escalation once again, like another border tension with another country?
Yeah, of course they can afford because they don't have to spend any money themselves. The aid is coming from USA and other interested countries like China and all. So they can possibly get the materials for the war without spending a penny. But the fighting that has to be done over there has to be done by the Pakistani soldiers. And Khawaja is in the habit of shooting his mouth off every 7 days. He comes out with some weird statement like this. Open war with Afghanistan. I've just said that all the powers in the world, America could not beat them, or they had to run from there with the tail in their legs. So how can Russia had to go? So what is Pakistan for saying that they are going in for open war with Pakistan? The big mouth. No, there is no sense in that kind of a talk.
Well, that's right. Major General is also with us, KK Sinha. Pakistan has time and again also roped in India and has made India a key part in its dispute with Taliban. Why is Pakistan trying to rope India in its dispute with Taliban?
It is a simple, the game. You blame some other country of all wrongdoings which you have done it inside. India, there is no contiguity. See, it is a western front, eastern front of Pakistan, and India reaching over there. How? There is no land contiguity. They're saying that the moral support, the India and Afghanistan, if they keep blaming that India is doing over there, I do not know how India will do it. Neither India will, is giving them arms, ammunition. There is nothing, going. I mean, so they will keep blaming each other of their failure. It is their total failure. Afghanistan, they used to consider their backyard of Pakistan, the strategic depth. They used to say that they have got, the relation on religious lines. They have been coping. Now everything has gone wrong. Not realizing that even during Ramadan they can hit and innocent people. They are not hitting the military targets. They are hitting the villages, in the name of they are hitting so they are doing injustice to Afghanistan. They have used this country. If you see, they have, the Pakistan has taken so much, assistance, aid, money, proxy, everything from the Great Past in the name. They were able to defeat the Russians. When erstwhile USSR, when they invaded, they failed. To fail them, they have made the Al Qaeda. All these things have been created, and this has been done from the Afghanistan. And the present Taliban of Afghanistan, it is all done by the Haqqani networks and the Pakistan behavior. Now blaming them, because if you do all those things, it is going to come back to you. And they have treated Afghanis very, very stably and very badly, thinking that they are the subservient. So how can they do this? The way they have treated all the refugees which were there in Afghanistan because of what happened in Afghanistan. The Afghanis are very, very proud people of their own culture, their own race, and they are. See, as historically, no one has defeated. And the cost of reputation, I will say that India was, Indian that time of the great commanders of Ranjit Singh, they were able to do it. No one is able to do it because it's very difficult to defeat Afghan. They are a very, very proud people. They can survive without anything, but they will never leave the ground. So blaming India, I think, is a baseness. They should blame their own, doing their own strategy. That has totally failed. How can you use, a country thinking that they are subservient of Pakistan as their deep state? So that strategy has totally failed. And now they're coming back. See, they were using even the Afghan, some misguided youths in our country. They were thinking, they will take the Jammu and Kashmir with where that time Haqqani network was trying to do it, giving money and trying to use them. They were using it against India. And there are many foreign, militants who were coming from there, and they were from Afghanistan. Now, aiming them to, up there and trying their failure, especially the present government. This Khawaja Hafiz. Khawaja Hafiz is, when he says a lot of correct things also, which is actually on ground. But it is all doing of money, his actions. So the time has come, and there is an external something is required. But we, that when Pakistan was created, there was external, help was required, and that is required. Why not geostrategically? Because certain areas, POK, Gilgit-Baltistan, we are also having the problem with Pakistan. That worry is there, that even if India opens up a front, say in down below into the southern side, which India has been saying, in this area, in the Sar Creek area. So they will not able to control it. They control from all the sides. That worry, to hide that worry that India should not do it, but these are strategically, everyone should do it. Why not India? There's the right time to take the POK. There's the right time to take Baltistan and Pakistan, and balkanization of Pakistan has to be done. But India is not, that country will take, the chance, and when they are the weakest point, they will themselves will be defeated. Pakistan is getting defeated by their own design and their own doings.
Right, Major General, another sticking point between the Pakistan and Afghanistan is the issue of Durand line. Pakistan has fence along the border, to which Afghanistan has said that we do not recognize it, and they have called it a hypothetical line as well. How significant is the issue of Durand line between the Afghanistan and Pakistan's conflict?
See, the Durand line is the artificial line, like McMahon line. It was actually done on the ground without, marking, which the Afghanis never accepted it. Durand line is done by the Britishers. What they have done it in India with are all these things. Whether you say, any line which has been, and Durand line 2008, more than 800 kilometers line, is never recognized. Pakistan has, what they have erected a barbed wire, complete concrete fencing there, which they have not accepted it. And they keep, the matter of the fact that, that Afghanistan claimed that their area is right up to the Indus River line. The Indus River line is dividing the Pakistan. That is they call Pakistan. They're this thing, because the people are the same. They want to have the complete area of creation of the Pakistan and Balochistan. If that goes, when we say KPKP will, there will be a balkanization of that will be come out and carve out of it. It is basically the idea. And this is not a dream of today. Afghanis have got this dream because the races, the people, the Pathans are the same area from both in the contiguity. So it is all Pakistan, and Pakistan, the way they have taken the Balochistan down below, and that also by proxy they have taken Balochistan. Balochistan was never part of it. We lost it out Godar because Godar, once upon a time, it is Omani territory, Oman's territory. They were offering in India. We did a strategic mistake with not taking that. We should buy they wanted to sell it. That is our historical mistake. But Pakistan, what you are asking for, the Durand line, it is a line which they do not recognize, and they will never recognize this. Because Afghanistan, as proud people, they feel right up to Indus River, Sindhu River, which you are saying. That's why there is to be, Hindustan, and there is this to be, when, is a greater Afghanistan. That is their thinking. And I think they are working on this line.